Somebody was saying that I've seen Get Out 4 times is the new I would have voted for Barack Obama.
What's up, Flick Connection? This is Darren, and today I want to talk about the Get Out Oscar nomination and what it might mean for the future of the Academy Awards and the future of filmmaking. So Get Out received really high praise all year round. And when I say really high praise, I mean like 99% Rotten Tomatoes high praise, which is really unheard of. But I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I couldn't stop thinking about it. But from a technical standpoint, it is not one of the best movies of the year, and that's purely because it is a very, very low budget movie. And that doesn't mean that good movies can't be made on a low budget, but it does mean that this one is not of the caliber of something like Phantom Thread by Paul Thomas Anderson, even Steven Spielberg's The Post, which did not get nominated for Best Picture. So it's sort of in a very, very exclusive crowd, and there's some odd reasons why it's there, and there's some unfortunate reasons why it's there, and we're going to get into that in this video.
See, their morals, their code, it's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be.
I don't want to say the Academy's playing the race card. I don't think they realize what they're doing, and unfortunately, they're actually doing what the movie itself sort of warns against. So let's unpack this a little bit and sort of get into what I'm talking about.
Okay. Oh, not bad. Hey, Nielsen?
Now, Get Out provided some really amazing commentary on racism in America. And racism in America is something that we're not necessarily afraid to talk about. It's always in the news, it's always, there's documentaries, it's sort of on the tip of everyone's tongue at all times, it's sort of on everyone's mind at all times, it's a big part of living in America. But what Get Out did and what Jordan Peele did with Get Out is he brought up something that really no one's talking about, and the villains in Get Out are white liberals. And really what the film is saying is that there's a different type of racism.
It's not until later in the movie that white people get freaked out because they're like, oh my God, I think I've said that. I think I said that thing that the villains are saying in this movie.
Now, the racism in Get Out does not revolve around hate, yet it's still deadly. It still turns out to be deadly in the movie, and that's really what the movie's about.
Fairer skin has been in favor for the past, what, couple of hundreds of years? But now the pendulum is swung back. Black is in fashion.
It's really illustrating how sort of the elite liberal mentality still regards black Americans as the other.
Do you find that being African American has more advantage or disadvantage in the modern world?
It's a tough one.
And before I continue to say the word racism over and over again, because I can literally feel the cancer in the comments section bubbling up under my feet as I speak. But racism essentially involves treating someone differently because of their race. Only because of their race and no other factors. And that's what's done in the movie. And unfortunately, that's sort of what we're seeing done in Hollywood. And not only with Get Out, but Get Out is a great example because it's such a meta example, almost to the point where it just makes me wonder, like, did they not get the movie? Did they not understand what the point of this movie was? If you've been paying attention to your phone or the news at all for the last decade, the Academy Award has constantly come under fire for excluding black filmmakers. And by and large, they have, even with actors like Denzel Washington, who is regarded as one of the best working actors today. It was a long time before he won an Academy Award for Best Picture. He won for Training Day, which I love, but it is by no means his best performance. He put on way stronger, he had just opportunities for way stronger roles for a decade before that. And that's not just it. You'll remember the Oscar So White scandal. But since that, and since all of the backlash and just the repeated, the Academy doesn't nominate black people, the Academy doesn't nominate black people over and over again, they've kind of overdone it with Get Out in that, as good as that movie is, it does not belong in the mix with the Best Picture category unless they're changing what qualifies to be a Best Picture. Now, if they're doing that, then I guess that's fine, but regardless of whether or not that's what they're doing, it's going to be a side effect, because now what they've essentially done is they've lowered the bar.
Oh, no. 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 No, 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 no.
The technical specs don't matter as much, the lighting doesn't matter as much, the sound design doesn't matter as much, the editing doesn't matter as much. All of those things weren't done at the highest level with Get Out. It was well written, it was pretty well acted, it was well directed, but all of those other elements were done on a low budget and just not with the top talent in Hollywood working on it. And as a result, it's technically, from a technical perspective, not a Best Picture nomination. So now that they've done that, they're going to have to continue to do that. They can't just throw a bone to this movie. And I'll give you a prime example of what I'm talking about, and that's Jordan Peele himself. I'm sure he's honored and would never say anything to disparage this nomination, but he did so well with this movie financially. Imagine, he's gonna have director's cut, whatever he wants to do, huge budget on his next movie. He's gonna be able to make 5 or 6 duds in a row before they cut him off. But I think he's gonna make really great films going forward, so they're gonna be giving him more resources. I suspect him to be making some fantastic films in different genres. I'm really excited to see what he puts out. But now that they nominated his first movie, which is essentially a horror flick, what happens when he does something 10 times better than Get Out? Maybe his third movie, his second movie after Get Out, maybe it's just incredible. What do they do then? They nominate him again, but they've already nominated him for this, so they've blown it. And it just lowers the expectations. And again, to me, there's racism present. It's the racism of low expectations, and it's sort of throwing a bone, you know, where it didn't need to be thrown. And I'm happy for the movie. I think it did deserve a Best Actor nomination. I really think it did. I think Jordan Peele has deserved a ton of awards in other award ceremonies. But I worry that at this point, they've really kind of blown the wad, and I feel like it's pretty transparent what they're up to here. It doesn't come across as genuine when you do it on the back of a year full of scandals for a movie that just doesn't fit. It sticks out like a sore thumb, and I think they're showing their hand here, and it's just another reason I'm not watching this year. But thanks for watching, and you will see me next time.